Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina and it is Sunday, February the 12th. I'm here to share with you my stitching so far today, and this is for my prompt in 24 hours of cross stitch. It's for the letter D, and that represents dimensions. This is a dimensions kit, gold club or gold collection, and these are the vintage Christmas vintage ornaments. And in case you don't recall, I am working on this one right here. That's my second one to work on. I'll put a picture in here of what it looked like when I got started. And this is what it looks like now. I put 300 stitches in this little beauty. I'm so proud. I got all the greenery down here by the house, and I've gotten started across the snowy bottom here. I just ran my thread out there. But this was in 24 hours of cross stitch. I didn't have to get any set number of stitches, but I wanted to finish this. I wanted to finish the whole trees down the side look. And so in order to do that, it was 300 stitches. So I thought, great, that works out really nicely. So there you have it, my full coverage in the full coverage month. So that's my nod to full coverage anyway. And I hope you liked it. I'm going to be grabbing something else to stitch on today. I'm not sure what yet, but it's Super Bowl Sunday. I don't know if my husband's planning on watching it or not. I haven't asked him. He and Coco are out for a long walk at the moment. I hope they have a great time. So I'm going to clean up all the floss for this one because it's a lot of floss, and get this off my desk, and I'll pick out something else. And if I get it stitched in enough time today, I'll come back and share it with you. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is very late in the night. I'll be honest with you and tell you it's after 11. Okay, so it's time for me to call it a night, but I just couldn't until I finished this prompt because I didn't have much left to do. So I went ahead and did it. But I have pulled out my Teresa Kogut's Let Love Rain. This is for a prompt in the acrostic in the Daily 30 group for this month. This is the beautiful sampler that Teresa designed. And I started it for my birthday. And several of you came along with me either on this piece or on a Teresa Kogut New Start or Whip that you had. And so I started in the top left corner, and when I started on it today, I had stitched the corner flower and then one flower in the border as it went. And so today I had these two to start with. So I went on around, got that flower, came on around, and I just kept going until I hit my limit with the Q-snap that I was using right here. And then I came on while it was still in the Q-snap and filled in that last flower, and that's what I was working on to finish. So there'll be another flower just like that right here. And then when I open this on up and finish that, it'll be across two flowers like this. So it'll be across another grouping of flowers. That will actually include the center of the top. So there you have it. Let Love Rain, getting started on the border. Got a little bit more done today. 2 more little flowers. But believe it or not, it was 412 stitches. 412. I knew I needed 300 for the prompt I was working on. The prompt was the letter T for the first T in Sweetheart. That's the word that we're doing for the acrostic. And that stood for the Teresa, the T in Teresa Kogut. So there you have it. I have a parked thread in here now. But listen, this is going to be a big project. It won't take all this. I haven't cut it yet. I'm going to wait until I finish across the top and down one side of the border before I cut the fabric. Just because I want to make sure I have plenty. So that's my stitching for the day. Got it finished. I'm so excited. I love working with Vicki Clayton's silk. It's lovely. My worst problem is that my hands are rough because it's been winter, and even though I use hand cream, you know, the Stitcher's cream, or I actually have right now, I'm using the one that's the little black and white like a cow moo. I call it cow cream, but it's udder cream, I think is what it's called. I'm using that because it doesn't stain my fabrics. Just like the Stitcher's Friend doesn't stain your fabrics. So I am trying to get my, there we go, threads to be where I can put them away now. And but they're just so beautiful and they're so soft. So I'm looking forward to continuing to work on it. And know that these border is just a repeat. So once I get the top done, I may just start working on the piece all the way down and just do the border in sections as I go, just to keep up with where I am in the piece. Because I think if I just try to do the entire border all at one time, you know, before I get into the middle at all, I'm afraid I'll get tired of that, get burnt out doing the same thing over and over again. So I don't think I'll do that. And one of the challenges that I haven't talked much about, because it's the new one in the Daily 30, and I haven't mentioned much about it yet. One of the prompts in there is to stitch on something that you actually stitched on during a holiday that you can remember and tell which holiday. And so I felt like the most recent one I can remember is my New Year, New Start, which, you know, was when I think of stitching. And so I may pull that out this week too and put the number of stitches required for that. I don't remember if it was 200 or 400. Anyway, I hope to do that next week too. So those are some plans coming up in the upcoming days, and I will be happy to share it with you as I go. Really hope that you've had a good weekend. We really have. We had 2 couples over for dinner from our church. We had dinner and then we played cards. Played a new game that I had just learned at Canasta. We played Canasta and then we played a new game after that. It was really easy, and so I showed them how to do that. Had a great time. But Coco had gone for the very long walk with her daddy. It tires her out, and that way when we have company, after she gets excited about seeing that there are people there, she calms down pretty quickly, and then she just goes to sleep because she's so exhausted from walking for so far. So my husband did that. Took her on about a 4 or 5 mile hike. Got home, got in the house, and about 2 or 3 minutes before our guests were going to get here. And he said to Coco, Coco, now we're going to have company. I want you to be a good girl. And when he said the word company, she ran to the front window and started barking. She thought people were here. She has learned the word company, and she knows that means people coming in the house. I don't know if she thinks it means we tell her to go get them. We're not sure, but he tested it again after everybody was here. Everybody was here. We had our plates filled. We were sitting in the dining room eating, and Coco came up and Tommy was petting her, and all of a sudden he said, Coco, you're being so good. You're being so good with our company. And when he said the word company, she got real attentive and she growled, and then she ran to the front window and started barking. Everybody busted out laughing. So my husband tested it again. He said, Coco, are you barking at the word company? And she got all excited. She went back to the window and barked. So now our dog thinks the word company means attack or whatever. It's hysterical. So now we can't say the word company. We can't say, would you like to invite company, or we're about to have some company, and because she'll start barking. I like to think and pretend that she's saying, oh, great, come on in, we've got company. No, that's not what she's saying. Oh my gosh, y'all. She just provides so much humor for the two of us. And even our friends, they just think she's the funniest thing and the most precious thing they've ever seen. So that's sweet. I'm glad of it. But I had to share the Coco story with you. So I will talk to you hopefully tomorrow. I hope to have a couple of goals hit tomorrow, and I hope to share them with you. And in the meantime, happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. It is the 13th of February. It's Monday. My husband's been filming all day. He's probably going to be in Atlanta filming until about 8 tonight. So he'll be home late. Coco and I have been on a safari twice today, but on the second one, she got to play with her friend. They ran and ran and ran until Coco decided it was snack time, and she jumped the fence and went into an empty lot where the deer love to go. Yeah. She would not come when called. She would not pay me any mind. I had to go around the fence and go get her and put her back on her leash. So we came home. The rest of the safari was canceled. Anyway, I think she enjoyed playing so much it didn't matter. So she was fine. I've been stitching today, as usual, for a prompt. This prompt was to stitch on something that you worked on a holiday and tell which holiday. Well, I started this piece on New Year's Day for my New Year's New Start. I'm talking about When I Think of Stitching by Puntinipuntini. And I started it by doing the word stitching. And then the last time I worked on it, I did the colors for the floss skeins right here. I hadn't done the black and the banding, which would be the, their little paper that goes around each one of them. But I had done the colors in the floss. So I had the word and the colors of the floss done. So today, I actually got 308 stitches in here. I only needed 200, but I got 308 because I had a little goal I wanted to finish. I first finished off these, and then I came up here and did that little measuring tape piece, and came over here and did this stack of linen. And you can't read it because I can barely read it, but it actually says on the little tag, linen, which is funny because I stitch on Lugana most of the time. But that's what was on there in the chart, and that's what fit. So that's what I did. I did make one change. I took these two colors and flip-flopped them because they have the lightest color on top. And I knew if I did that, it wouldn't show up. I needed the lightest color there to be sandwiched between that pretty bluish gray, which is 926, and then the golden color, which is 436. It's a tan color of some name, but these are all DMC colors, and I think they're really, really, really lovely. So, met my prompt, got some stitching done. This piece is now complete to here. So, that first third is completely done. Very excited. So, good progress today. Good progress. And now, I'm going to put this away. I'm going to go downstairs and have a little bite to eat for supper. Coco and I will probably do something together for that. And then I will come back up. I'm going to get to Zoom with some friends that I have been to a retreat with before. And we try to Zoom as often as we can on Monday nights. And so tonight, I've already gotten the Zoom invitation, so I know it's on for tonight. and I'm gonna try to stitch. So I've got to pick something to stitch because I've done this prompt, and now I need to pick my next thing I want to stitch on, but it has to be something I can stitch while I talk and visit. So I'll let you see what that is when I figure it out. I'll leave you hanging with that little cliffhanger. I hope you've had a great day. It's been a lovely day for Coco and I. We actually slept late and then went ahead and got up and started our day together. I went and indulged in a pedicure. Had not had a pedicure since before we went on vacation, and I felt like I really needed to do that. And so I went this morning and got that done. And as soon as I got home, Coco and I went on our first safari for the day, and I think that was just what she needed. She came back and napped, and I started stitching. So been stitching most of the afternoon, other than running down to check on her, play with her a few minutes, go to the mailbox with her, you know, just do some things every hour or so that let her get out and about and around and move and have some interaction. Because when my husband's home, they go hiking. They go hiking for 3, 4, 5 miles at a time. And so she's used to a lot of activity. So we'll see how that goes. I do have a bit of excitement to share with you. I was contacted by a member of the North Alabama Stitchers group, and they're a Facebook group, and they have a retreat going on in July, the end of July. In fact, it's the weekend just following the New Jersey retreat. And they asked if I could come and be a part of that, just attend it if I was interested. And hey, apparently a couple of people in their group watch my videos, and I think that's awesome. So as it turns out, where they're hosting the retreat is only about 14 miles from one of our couples friends that we've been meeting in the mountains and at the beach this last year. And so they're so excited that we're coming, and we'll be staying that close to them. We will probably do things in the evenings together. According to the retreat information, lunch is provided, dinner's on your own, and so I could probably slip away for a few dinners with them. And we're gonna stay an extra day to hang out with them before we come home. So I'm excited about that. Get to go to another retreat, and I get to visit my friends. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that's going on. Just got the information that I made it off the wait list today. Anyway, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. I just am now trying to be creative and think about what I would like to do for the exchange in that retreat. And then I will also have to decide what I'm going to stitch later this evening while I'm Zooming. So lots of fun ahead of me for this evening and in the months to come. So I'll keep you posted. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Valentine's Day to you. I am here to actually tell you about my last night stitching. I've started stitching today, but I haven't finished it, so I'll wait and come back and show you that. I was doing a Zoom call last night, and I wanted something that was easy enough to stitch, and you know, I could talk and stitch. So I pulled out my I Am a Needlesmith, because I knew I had to start working on this dress. I want to get her dress in before I put everything else in, so that I don't make any mistakes in the centerpiece of this pretty, pretty piece. So I did stitch on this while we Zoomed, and I only got in 235 stitches, but you know, you talk and visit a lot when you're Zooming with your fellow stitchers. But here's where it is now. I finished the top portion of her dress, and I started on the skirt. It has kind of an overskirt on the outside, and then it has a pretty center down the middle. But that's where I got to. So still working on the little lady in the front. This is one of my Year of Whips, so that was another reason I grabbed it, since I was looking for something to stitch while I Zoomed, and I knew I wouldn't have enough time really to get a prompt. I went back to my Year of Whips and said, I'm working on this one because it's in the Year of Whips. And I don't know that I mentioned it, but when I finished my If It's Spring, I fully finished it now, and I've shared that with you, but it's on my Year of Whips as well. So I've actually completed 2 Year of Whips in the month of February. Won't have another one this month, I don't think. But I got 2 of them done, which is great. 2 of the 6. Making good progress, Melanie. So that's great. Well, what am I stitching today? Well, today I'm working on my Finish It February goals. And my goal today for this week is to complete that first room in my Kringles. So I will tell you, I've done the little girl, the doll, I've done the Christmas trees above her, and I've gotten most of the little miniature Nutcracker soldier stitched. I think I have his face left to do. And then I'll have that tall tree, a present, and the soldier to do. 2 more little trees and the garland. So I'm not halfway done yet. If I had the tree done, I would say I'm halfway done, but I'm not. But I'm going to work really hard on as much as I can on this today, because I had already done the little girl. I did her Sunday, I think, or Monday. And then I did the other 2 this morning while talking to my sister. But I will do as much as I can on here today. Tomorrow is a busy day, but Thursday is a hugely busy day. I'm hosting canasta here at the house. I'm stitching with my friend Glow first, and then I'm hosting canasta. And then Friday, I go to the eye doctor to see the eye surgeon to see if I get to have cataract surgery or not. So I'll keep you posted on that. So I'm gonna sign off for now, go have lunch with my hubby, and then when he comes home and takes Coco for a long walk, I'll get back over here and work on Kringles on that first room. All right, everybody have a great week, and I'm hoping to have a little bit more to share with you this afternoon. Happy stitching. Welcome back, everyone. This is Dina. It is later on February 14th, Valentine's Day, and I just found some of my metallic thread. Let me move that over there. Today I wanted to work on hitting my goal for my Finish It February, and I wanted to finish that first room in the pattern that I'm working on called Kringles. And this is Kringles, and I am working on this room right here. So let me tell you what I worked on it. I had already done the little girl, and I flip-flopped the colors in her dress. I just want more things to show up. So rather than fight this white color, I just flip-flopped it and did her dress in the 926, which is what her little sash is. And I did her sash in white. So her dress shows up a lot better, I think. I left the other 2 little Nutcracker and the soldier, I left them the way they were, but I just changed her dress to a light blue so that I could see it a little better. I left the trees white, but I did use B5200 on them. And there are Kringles, or I'm using Petite Treasure Braid instead, gold in here. There's the candle lights on the tree. The tree's decorated with candles, like an old-fashioned tree. And there's Kringles on the top of his hat. And there's Kringles in his buttons, and well, there's Petite Treasure Braid. Sorry, I'm tired. I use that in there. So all the sparklies in there that's supposed to be, which is great. I did use B5200 instead of ecru for the bow because it is touching the fabric, and I was afraid you couldn't see it if I didn't. So the good news is that I stitched 648 stitches today, and I finished this room right there. So I am on target. Now I would like to show you what I did. See, there's her little dress, and she's got a little crown on, and it's white in the picture, so I left it that way. Plus it matches her ribbon. And then he has, of course, a little bit of the shiny stuff on his jacket there. Got a Nehru collar. I thought that was really cute. And the Nutcracker has a little bit of the sparkly on his hat. And he doesn't have eyes, but he has a mustache, which is really cute. They call for French knots for their eyes and mouth, but I did it for the eyes. But for the mouth, I actually did more of a little stitch so that it looks like a mouth. I did hers a little fuller than his, but anyway, there you go. So that first block is finished. Yay! Now, I had mentioned that I wanted to possibly stitch this piece right under here with each room. And I still may come back and do that. I certainly have time this month to do that. So I very well may. I may work on that again later in the month and see if I can get that done as well. But I have at least completed the inside of that first room, so I can say that I have completed my finish it February goal, even if I don't get anything else done on that underside portion. But I'm excited about it. I got that done, and I actually decided I would use this for a couple of my acrostics. I hadn't planned on it. I needed the letter E to finish both my 24 hours of acrostic and the magazine monthly wave. I needed E in both of those. And as I was stitching today, I realized I'm stitching an evergreen tree. So, because it's green, it's a Christmas tree that's green all year. So I called it an evergreen tree, and I put that in, and I think I put my picture and posted it in there when I was around either 300 and something stitches or 400 and something stitches. Anyway, I didn't have a set number of stitches for either of the acrostics, but that was just when I realized during the day, hey, I'm putting so many stitches in this, there's got to be something I can use it for. And I checked all of my prompts, and that's when it hit me. I could use it for the E's. So guess what? Today I finished the 24 hours acrostic, and I finished the magazine monthly acrostic. So now the only one I have left to work on that's an acrostic is the daily 30 group, and I think I have 3 left to do in that one. So we'll be working on that, and of course on Friday we get another challenge that's a 2-week challenge. I'm working on the one from last Friday, and I know I think I have at least one of those 5 left to get. So that's fine. That's easy to do. The pressure's off. I've got most of it done. But boy, has it been a productive month. I've been very, very pleased. I think having that finish at February really helped because it gave me mental permission, really, to go in and pick up those pieces over and over again because I had to finish them. I had to get them done. So that worked out real well. My next one is the biggest challenge. It's to stitch the entire face and finish that side of the picture on my Royal Games one, to finish the Queen of Hearts face and head. And so I'm supposed to get that done the last week of February. So what I'm thinking is I may go ahead and pull it forward and start working on it. We have a stitching meetup this weekend on Saturday, and if I can stitch this banner across the bottom and just outline the row that's supposed to be black. Well, it's actually color 844. I could get that below that room done probably Saturday. And that would be good stitching to take with me because it's easy to do if you've outlined it and you're just doing fill in. So I may do that. And if I'm planning on doing that, then I may come in tomorrow and get started and do the banner part so that I can just fill in behind it on Saturday. And that would, you know, really make me know that I'm going to be on target to finish in November instead of December. If I can get that band done as I do those first 3 rooms, then I should be able to finish it in November if I can stay on track. That's a big if, because as you know, I've been talking about maybe having to have cataract surgery, and I go Friday to talk to the doctor. I'm still wearing glasses instead of contacts. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on how that goes. But I'm just thrilled. I'm so thrilled that I've gotten this far on Kringles and that it's going well. And I'm enjoying it. They're tiny. They're little tiny motifs, little people and trees and whatnot. But there's a lot of stitching in them. So there are color changes and, you know, there's not a ton of back stitch, which is great. But that means all of your shadowing and changes are done with your confetti, basically. But it's not terrible. It's not a bad stitch. I found my favorite part so far has been the brick. I have thoroughly enjoyed stitching that brick. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the color or the fact that it's a pattern and it's so easy, you know, to do, and then you just fill it in. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm enjoying the stitch, and I'm happy about that. So before I forget, I do want to tell you there'll be a little 2 or 3 stitches. I am tired. And there'll be 2 or 3 pictures of Coco at the end of this video that my husband took in the woods. They went on a different trail that they had never been on before in one of our local parks. We have several beautiful parks. And this is one my husband really likes to take Coco to because they have multiple trails. They're well marked. And they can actually, by combining some of the trails, they can get 4 or 5 miles in. And I think today they went about 4. But they found on one of the new trails that they hadn't been on before, they found a little gnome village. And Coco is fascinated by them. She doesn't interrupt them. She doesn't try to pick anything up. She doesn't knock anything over. She doesn't try to eat any of it. She's fascinated by it. She just thinks it's great. So anyway, I've got a few pictures of her in her new find in the gnome village, and I'll share that with you at the end. Well, I don't know how many clips I've got to put together so far, so I may kind of take a look at that and see if this is a good place to wrap it up for this video, and if not, I'll take this little segment out and you know, just keep going. But if there's enough, I may let this be the wrap up for this video and bring you back on the next one to see how the rest of Finish It February goes. In the meantime, everybody, happy stitching. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back. It is the 16th of February. It's Thursday, and I have been playing canasta most of the day. I hosted the ladies at my house today, and I have to brag on Coco for a minute. She announced that everybody was here as they arrived with a lot of noise, but the minute that she saw me let them in the house and they stood and let her kind of sniff of their pant leg or their hand, then she quit barking and she went and laid on her ottoman. And I must say, we started at 10:30. We have sort of a breakfasty snack thing, and then we play cards until we finish. It was great. We played till 4 o'clock. I took Coco to the potty when she asked to go, but she did not even approach me for any thing until around 3:30 in the afternoon. And then she marched up, put her little paws on my arm, and pulled me close and looked in my eyes. And I knew what she wanted. She wanted to go on her walk. And so I told her, I said, as soon as we're done, baby, we'll go. And so everybody was gone by 4. And I asked her if she was ready, and she ran to the back door, and we put her harness on, and we went for a nice walk. My husband is filming today, so he probably won't be home until tomorrow. It's going to go all night, he said. Anyway, they didn't have to be there till 11 o'clock, which let him know it was going to be a late night. Okay, so I decided after everybody left that I would come up and stitch. And yesterday, I had started stitching on a project for a prompt, and the prompt was in my Daily 30 acrostic, which is Sweetheart, and it was the 3rd E that I needed, of course, in that word. So I decided to use it. We can use it if it's the first letter of an object that you're stitching in the piece. You don't have to be stitching it that day, but it has to be in the piece. So I decided to pull out my Royal Games 1, and my E stood for eyes. There are eyes on both of the queens. Even though they're closed, they still have eyes. You can tell that's what they are. And since it was the 3rd E I was trying to get, I said, okay, this is going to be the one. And I did. That acrostic, I have to stitch 300 stitches. So today, I did. I started working on it yesterday, and I got a portion of it done yesterday, and I finished it today. But all total on this piece, I stitched 328 stitches. So I met the prompt. So let me show you what that looks like. She's getting a neck. I did skin, and I did 2 or 3 different shades of skin, and I'm having to count real carefully because there are beads that will be going here. And I don't know how well you can see it. Probably not that great. But there's pink in here, all around in here and here. And that is Krynic. It's part of her necklace. And so it's, to the naked eye, it's very shiny. It's very pretty. But I had to go ahead and stitch it because there are so many holes for beads and things in here. It's going to be really hard for me to count, to get on up to her face and her hair and everything if I don't do that. And, you know, next week, my Finish It February prompt is to finish her face and head, you know, finish her body. So having this prompt today and getting 328 stitches in it, at least it got her neck up to about right here, her chest, you know, and up into her neck. And so it's not even halfway there, but it's a good start. And I'm excited about that. You can see there are holes here for beads. There are holes here for her bracelets that are beaded. But again, I'm not going to bead until I finish the whole thing. I think she's pretty. I hope you like her. She's turning out well. There's the beginning of her collar that I did the time before. So I think the next time I pick this up, I will continue on up her face and neck, up into here, and try to get at least all of the skin finished. The next time I stitch on her, that would be great. Her hair has beautiful flowers in it, and then she's got this really tall collar standing up around her, which is not so bad. It's big blocks of color, but the skin I have to be careful on, you know, because you're blending and whatnot. So pretty lady, I'm really excited with how that's coming. And that has been all the stitching I've been able to get done today. Enjoy your stitching, whether you do it at home or whether you do it with friends or whether you travel. Just enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy your craft. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Tina. It is Friday. It is the 17th of February, and I have just recently returned from speaking with my cataract surgeon, Dr. LeBeau, and she was fabulous, just absolutely fabulous. I think I shared with you that I went to see her at the end of January, and there had been a communication glitch, and I had not been told that I didn't need to wear contacts or should not wear my contacts for 2 weeks, and that's why I've been wearing glasses last 2 weeks. So I was so impressed with her. The minute she walked in the door to see me, she said, "I am so sorry that we didn't get that information to you." And she explained that she had checked into it and they had had quite a bit of turnover, and there was a learning curve, and that part had been missed apparently. And the person that I got on the phone when I called didn't realize the thing about the contacts. And so she apologized profusely for making me have to wait 2 weeks and come back. And that just, it just endeared her to me that she took the time to investigate it or have someone investigate it. And that she just immediately apologized for my inconvenience and owned, you know, the communication glitch as their own rather than ignoring it. She didn't have to say anything, it was in the past. But it certainly meant a lot to me that she did. So when I went in there with the idea and understanding that this referral was to talk to her about whether or not my cataracts were bad enough that they could be justified to have surgery. And are they bad enough that surgery would make a big difference for me? Because I'm not going to subject myself to a surgical procedure because there are always risks with that unless the benefits are going to far outweigh any risk. And I had done my homework. I had looked at videos. I had looked at videos of the surgery. I had looked at videos talking about the lenses and the choices you have to make on the lens, how you want to see. And so I was ready. I had my questions ready. And I got so tickled. She came in, and the first thing she did after introducing her staff member and her resident to me was to take the little, what I call a prism, but it's the little round glass thing that really shoots the light in your eyes. And that's what they use to look at your cataracts. And she did that right away. And she looked at both eyes, and then she said, "Do you mind if my resident looks at your eye?" And I said, "Not at all." So she told her just which one to look at. And she said, "Look at the right side of that eye. That's where the interest is." And the resident kind of chuckled and said, "Yeah." And I said, "So tell me, have I grown a good one?" And I was just being funny. She said, "Yeah, it's really thick." I thought, oh, I didn't know that. So turns out that my surgeon thinks that surgery is absolutely necessary and that it will benefit me greatly to have it. And her words were, "I can't wait to help you see so much better." She said, "We can improve your vision so much." And I was tickled to death. You don't realize, I think, as things get worse slowly, you don't realize how much different it is because it's gradual. It wasn't until I had to quit wearing my contacts that I really noticed how much my vision had changed and how blurred everything was. So today, I found out I am going to have cataract surgery. So I promised just to keep you posted. I know that's just personal update, but I have no idea what that will mean for my stitching in the month of March, because I do think that it would be at least a day or two. Some people have told me 2 to 3 days later they could see just fine, that I might not be able to stitch. And that's going to occur twice in the month of March. I've also been told that there's a eye patch that you might wear for the first few days to keep you from rubbing your eyes or things like that. And if that happens and I can see out of the other eye just fine, then, I could stitch. So I've decided not to make real aggressive plans for the month of March because I don't know if I can meet them. I'll do what I can because I just enjoy stitching so much, but I won't be making any real aggressive plans for March. So that's it. That's my update. Now I am, my eyes were dilated this morning and they're just now getting back to where I can see. So I am going to go upstairs and see if I can stitch. The best news for me today was I got to put my contacts back in. So I can actually see much better. I can't read well for a real fine print, but I can see. And so now I can go upstairs and to my craft room and I can get busy and get a little stitching done. And I'll come back and share that with you. My plan is to record that today and possibly, depending on how long the video is, then can see how much footage I have. Since I had some left over before, I think I mentioned that earlier, that I might want to put up another video really quick just to keep you up with what's going on because I've been stitching a lot. Oh, everybody, have a great weekend and happy stitching. Welcome back, everyone. It is still the 17th of February. I did get my eyesight back from my eyes being dilated this afternoon. So I decided to come up and try to get at least one challenge done. And I was going to work on Autumn Bell Pull for an A that I needed in my Daily 30 acrostic Sweetheart. And yet I went over to my poles to pick up my piece, my roller frame for Autumn Bell Pull, and I saw this one and I thought, you know what, I have not stitched on this in a while. It has autumn in the title as well. It's Autumn in the Country, and I really felt drawn to it. I really wanted to work on it today, so that's what I did because the A will work either way. So I pulled this out today. I put in 319 stitches. I needed 300. So I got this entire motif stitched in. This one was there before, but this one was not. It was blank, like this side over here. So I finished that motif and I just came on down the side here and I started working on the motif for this little section. And I got the plant part done. And then I will have to come back and finish the top portion, the flower portion, on my next session that I work on, and then I'll slide over here and replicate that because they're duplicate, just facing the opposite direction. They mirror each other, and so, but I'm loving this. This is on that beautiful fabric, Autumn by Bestitch Me, and mine is a 32 count Lugana. And I love the fact of the muted colors in it. You can see them well, but they're not too terribly bright. So in this case, the fact that Lugana takes the color just a little bit lighter than linen was very much in my favor. I loved it. So this is my Autumn in the Country with an additional 319 stitches added to it. So there you have it. Well, my husband went out for a run. And he's back now, and he's getting ready. I think we're going to step out and get some dinner. Well, thanks so much. I'm getting some very kind comments on my videos, well wishes for my eye surgery, and some of you have been kind enough to share your good experiences with me, and I truly appreciate that. Thank you. But I'll let you get back to stitching. I'm going to wrap this up and work on finishing up the video this weekend, and hopefully, after my stitching meetup on Saturday, I can work on it some more. Happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Dina, and this is my cross stitch video for February 18th, 2023. Today is Saturday, and it was our stitching meetup today here in Gainesville, Georgia. Our local library allows us to stitch the second Saturday of every month usually. This month they needed the room, so we had to move to the third Saturday of the month. We don't like to do it that day because it conflicts with another couple of other stitching meetups in the state of Georgia, some of which we would all like to go to. But we had no choice this month. In order to get to meet this month, we had to be willing to be flexible and move to the third Saturday of the month. And I guess because we were nice about it, we got rewarded for that. We had 26 people at our stitching meetup today. Now, they didn't all come at the same time, and they didn't all leave at the same time. But by the end of the day, we had 26 people. And for the most part of the day, I would say for the most part, we had 21. So those 5 that came in and out, I'll tell you about here in a second. It was great to see some of the people there that hadn't been able to come in a while. It was so good to see them back. And we had a couple of new people that were visiting for the first time, and for that we are very grateful. But those 5 people I mentioned that were in and out, well, it was new stitchers. 4 of those we taught how to cross stitch today. One was a parent. But let me tell you, the youngest one who wanted to learn to cross stitch was a 5-year-old girl. And one of our lovely members, Rosalind, taught her how to stitch. And Rosalind was even sharp enough to get some yarn from needlepoint that we had on the freebie table and helped her start stitching with yarn so she could really feel it and get the feel of it and see what she was doing. It was great for a 5-year-old. And she would go away and stitch a few stitches and come back and run in the room and show everybody. She was so proud of it. It was so cute. Anyway, the next youngest person we had there today was a 10-year-old girl, and I had the awesome opportunity to work with her and kind of show her the beginnings of cross stitch. She likes crafts, and I think she's looking for her craft. And I don't know if cross stitch will be it or not because it takes so long to do, but she was quite patient today, and she worked hard at it and did a great job. And I hope she'll be back next month. I'd love to work with her again. We're stitching buddies now. And then she was 10, and then there was a 12-year-old girl who came in, and one of our other members, Teresa, worked with her and taught her how to stitch. And it was her father who also was watching very carefully and listening and was kind of picking up on it as well as she was. And before the end of the day was over, he picked out a kit to take home with him for himself. So we hope that he'll start stitching and come back with her. So there you have it. 4 new stitchers, we hope. Delighted to be able to share our craft. As you know, you would be. Any opportunity you got, you'd show somebody how to stitch. You know that. But what a privilege. What a privilege we had today. It was such a fun day. We had a great time. Another thing that happened is through conversations today and just sharing ideas and thoughts and what ifs, we organized a road trip for next Saturday. We're going to a shop not too terribly far from here in the state of Georgia that is now stocking cross-stitch supplies. Do we dare say that we have a local needlework shop? We're excited. We're going to check it out. Anyway, so next Saturday, all of us who can come are going to go there. And I have already warned the shop owner that 10 to 15 people may be descending upon her this coming Saturday. And she is thrilled to death. She's fine with that. So looking forward to doing that. I've never been there before. I think the shop has been around for a little while, but I think it was mostly either needlepoint or yarn for knitting or something. It wasn't cross stitch that much. It had a little bit of this and that, but she's really found that cross stitch is hot, and she's selling a lot of it. So I think she may be onto something. Anyway, that's next Saturday. So what did I do today other than teach someone how to stitch? Well, that's what I did most of the morning, but I did get some stitching in a little bit before she got there and a little bit after she left, But mostly I came home and finished what I was working on. So what you're going to see today is all done today, but it was done, I would say 80% of it at home. And only about 20% there at the stitching meetup, which is okay because that's what we're all about, stitching, right? Even if it's sharing it with somebody else. So I took my For Unto Us. This is my Silver Creek Samplers piece that I started in January as a Whip Go start. And it went with me on the cruise, so I got a lot of work on it. And then since I've been back, I've worked on it for some prompts. And today, when I took it, I said, you know what? There's not that totally terribly much left. I ought to be able to finish this. So as I was stitching it today at our stitching meetup, my friend Donna looked over and she said, you have a homework assignment. You are to take that home and finish it tonight. Okay. So I just sent Donna a message and sent her a picture and told her I had completed my homework. Because I finished it. Let me share it with you. I'm pretty excited about it. It's a small piece, look. Look at all that extra fabric I've got. So I'll be able to trim that up and use that for another small. I think this is absolutely adorable. So today I put in this bird and I filled in all the letters and I put all the little, I don't know if you can see them, there are little tiny yellow pin stitches in here for the stars. And then I put in the grass and the 3 little sheep, and that finished it up. I did put in 604 stitches today. That's how many it took to finish her up. But hey, that's just a good day of stitching for me, right? That's a really good day of stitching, but that's a good day of stitching. And since it was Saturday, I was able to do that. I'm tickled to death. Just think it's precious. So there you go. I actually started it on January 9th because it was my Whip Go call, one of my Whip Go calls for January, and I finished it February 18th. So not too bad. It's a nice little small, but you know, a lot of stitching in there. I have worked on this several times, so it did take a little bit to get it done, but I'm really happy with it. So there you go. My stitching for the day, our stitching meetup, what a big success, our plans for next Saturday. It's been a red letter day. It's been awesome. Coco and Tommy went on a very long hike in the park today while I was at my stitching meetup. And in fact, my husband had just gotten home in time to meet me for supper after the stitching meetup. My friend Donna and I decided we were going to go eat pizza at our favorite little pizza place on the square for dinner because we had planned to do that for lunch, and I was teaching stitching, and it wasn't a good place to stop until about 2 o'clock. And my friend Donna, bless her heart, she waited to eat with me, and we wound up going for supper. So we texted my husband and said, how would you like to join us? And he did, and so I was tickled about that. So we had a good dinner together and then headed on home. So it's been a really fun and pleasurable day. So that's the finish. And guess what? My next Whip Go, my last and final Whip Go for February, is a new start. I'm not making much headway on getting my whips down, am I? I am delighted, though, that I had a finish right before I have to have another new start, because then that is a net effect of 0 against my whip count. And unfortunately, I had not put this one on my year of whips. I had thought about it, but I hadn't done it. So I think I didn't do this one on the Year of Whips because I kind of figured I'd finish it because it was so small, and I really wanted to push myself to finish something bigger. And so I decided to put Kringles on there instead. So I did. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna let you go. I think I will probably wrap this up, as I mentioned, and maybe get it, go ahead and get it saving and uploading and all that overnight, so that maybe Sunday I could put this one up for you, and we'll see how that goes. Happy stitching, everybody. Hey, what is it? What is it, huh? What you need? What do you need? Can you show me? Can you show me? Show me what you need. Your nose is running. Did you know that? Do you have a little cold, baby? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can I do my video? Do you want to be on the video? Can you say hey to everybody? They like seeing you. They like it when you say hello.